Hey guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. So today we're going to be doing a story time video. And since it is Halloween, we thought, let's do this story time. I have a bunch of real stories that's happened to me in my life. Robert has zero because, like we said in our previous video, he doesn't believe in ghosts. He don't think that they're real, or maybe he just doesn't acknowledge it. By the way, yes, I am a spider.
Got thirsty. Sponsored by Chick-fil-A. Yeah, go try out the new egg white grill. Hell nah.
A lot of my stories are stories that happened to me, and a lot of my stories are stories that happened to my mom. And my mom grew up in Mexico.
Didn't you just say that these stories are about you? Real stories that happened about, like, to you? You said that in the beginning of the video.
I don't know anymore. Okay. Anyways, basically, the stories I'm going to tell you are true. Sorry if I'm chewing like a cow. I have gum. Story. These are just little itty bitty paranormal stories that happened throughout my life that I can recall on the spot. One time, I remember going to the kitchen to get milk, okay? And I walked over to the kitchen. This is the same house that this happened in, okay? We're in the kitchen right now. So I walked over. We have the stove, and then we have like the counter, and then we have the fridge in between that. As I was walking, I was getting the milk out of the fridge, walking towards the counter. Close the door. I shit you not. Like, you know those little things that you stick in that, I don't know what they're called, but you blend a cake. You know what I'm talking about? Those little thingies that you stick in the little blender when you blend a cake. Well, that was shaking on its own, like, I don't know, like, you know what I mean? And then, literally, went up, fell on the floor.
Okay, so.
People like him that drive me crazy because I have no reason to lie. Why would I lie? I've witnessed this. I was maybe about 9, 10 years old. I was pretty young, and I still remember it to this day. I'm not the only one that's had paranormal experiences in this house. I can tell you a lot of other stories that's happened. Okay, here's another one that I just thought of. One time, I was younger, probably about, I know my sister was about 16, 15 years old, so I must have been, what's half of that?
15, 16, like
probably 8 or 9. And then, I had my door open, right?
Yo, it's hot.
So, my room, I'm using candy as an analogy. My room and my sister's room are right next to each other, okay? I had my door open. I was in my room, okay? It was in the middle of the night. Maybe I was going through sleep paralysis or something, maybe. I don't know. But I wasn't frozen or anything. I just saw something. I saw a black shadow of a man wearing a trench coat and like a sort of squared off hat, kind of looked like a detective type of look. Back in the day, detective. Walked out of my sister's room. And that's not the scary part. Later on that night, my sister said that she had went to the bathroom in the middle of the night. I was already asleep because I didn't see this. And she went into her bed. Under the covers, you know when you're under the covers, it has like a little lump. She said that when she went back in the bed, she saw a lump next to her. She thought it was my mom, so she turned, because my mom, sometimes she'll lay down with us. She turned around to hug what she thought was my mom, and literally went, And I told my mom my story first the next morning. She was like, you're just dreaming, you know, like basic stuff what parents tell their kids so they don't get scared. And then my sister was like, this happened last night. I just had something happen to me last night. And she said it. She told my mom, and my mom was like, okay, then there's something going on. Because if you're seeing things and she's seeing things, there's something going on here, right? Assuming maybe the man that I saw come out of my sister's room was the man that was in my sister's bed, or was the thing that was in my sister's bed. So yeah, that happened. What is your input on those two stories so far?
Just kidding. On the first one, I just think that maybe it was just a dream. Like you were just dreaming or something.
It was in the freaking daytime.
Oh, I thought you said it was at night.
No. Who eats cereal at night? Well,
I do.
I usually eat cereal in the morning.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I just think that you're just seeing things. Maybe you're just scared or something. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, the thing can't just move by itself. Maybe somebody jumped, or I don't know. Okay, I don't know the situation. And the second one, you said it was like a shadowy thing. Maybe it's your mom or your dad going to take a piss, and that's a shadow you saw or something. And then maybe somebody was using the restroom, so they went to go chill in your sister's room for a little bit. That's why that lump was there. And then they heard your sister come out, and your mom or dad got out of the bed and they went to go use the restroom, but your sister didn't see her because she was half asleep. So
Oh yeah, that's more logical than my story, right?
A ghost? I just.
Does his story make any sense compared to mine? Okay, maybe the first one I think y'all would be like, okay, that's impossible or whatever.
It's not impossible. It's just like, it's just, I don't know.
The second story, my sister confirmed it. I confirmed it. Honestly, I don't think that was an illusion of our minds.
It could be. Like,
you better get knocked out.
I mean, if you turn off this light right now and you, like, the fucking light from outside creates shadows and shit. We think it's things, but it's not things.
Okay, so another story. This is a story of my mom. Stories my mom, my aunts and uncles, grandmother, many people, multiple family members have told me, and they've all witnessed these things, so I know it's not, oh, my mom made this up, or oh, my uncle made this up. A lot of people saw it. So let me tell you one that is kind of what you would think far-fetched. A lot of my mother's paranormal experiences happened in Mexico. She's from Mexico, if y'all didn't know that. She's from Monterrey. And she's had experiences that you would only see in a movie type of stuff. And it's very scary. It's scary because there's a lot of evil people in this world that want... Would you look at the damn video? He's over here looking at a Target catalog.
Yeah, I'm trying to look for some deals. So what are you gonna buy back right here?
Anyways.
Look, you see that? Is that a train?
Yeah, it is.
Do you have any trains here, bro?
So, there was one story that my mom told me that kind of like is a really scary thought. My mom said that one time she went to go and visit in Mexico. Her uncle and her aunt and her cousins, they still stayed in Mexico. So they would go to visit them every season or every other holiday or whatever. They were all there, you know. This is whenever my grandfather was still alive, my mom's dad. And, you know, all my uncles and aunts and my mom was young. They were about maybe 12, 13 years old. Well, there was like a big old dresser. My mom said my grandfather's brother had a walk-in dresser. You know, it was huge, like a wardrobe thing. You know, like, and there was a mirror on it, right? The kids, well, they weren't really kids. You know, they were like preteens. They saw the Grim Reaper. And they saw it like plain as day, like if it was him on the other side of the mirror looking at himself, he was on the mirror, like on the mirror. And the kids called my grandpa, my grandma, my grandpa's brother, his wife, and they're very religious. So the women were praying, and the men went to grab a piece of brick and they broke the mirror.
Is that bad luck for some of you?
They just didn't want whatever it was in the mirror to come out of the mirror. So they broke it. And my grandma can vouch for this story. A lot of my uncles and aunts, my mother, she's seen it. And she said that it was one of the most scariest things that she's ever seen in her life. And we don't know why that happened. We're assuming that maybe somebody put a spell on them. Because, okay, let me tell you something about... I don't want to come off as sounding racist at all. But in Mexico... Would you quit breathing?
What the fuck? You want me to die?
You're like... There's a lot of witchcraft, okay? A majority of the religions in Mexico are Catholic and what is it called? There's this religion, I don't know if it has a specific name. I don't really like to say the name of the person because it just gives me the chills when I say her name. Basically, it's a woman. They call her a saint, and she's dressed up like the Reaper, the Grim Reaper. Okay, I'll put the name on the screen. I can't say her name because it makes me feel like...
I'll say the name.
Please don't. And it just makes me feel like she's nearby, you know what I mean? Like, it's like you're calling out to her. So, I'm assuming that maybe they didn't like my grandmother or my part of the family, and somebody was trying to get out to get them. Many stories of witchcraft in my family. Spells being put on them.
Let's summon a demon. Like, for the camera.
You're fucking stupid, too. If you can't handle a ghost, what makes you think you can handle that?
Because...
Please don't. Anyway.
There's ways to summon them, you know that, right? Like demons to go after people and shit.
Oh my god. Anyways, so yeah, that happened. That's one story. Here's another story. And this is a really scary story. Because it did happen in this house. So, it's just me and Robert and my cat. So, it is kind of uncomfortable to bring it up. But, let me tell you. So, to tell you this story, I know I talk a lot, but it's just so that you can understand the whole story, not hear bits and pieces. I want you to hear all the details. Can you stop and look
Dude, the Xbox One, dude.
Oh my god.
Kids for Christmas.
Scoot over and let me feel it.
But we're gonna be out of frame.
Okay. So, okay, my grandmother and my grandfather, they lived here in this house, okay? I've lived here my entire life. My grandparents are the ones to have this house first. Well, in my family, right? So my grandparents had 10 kids all together. 10 kids. I know, right? Lots of kids. So one of my mom's brothers, I'm not going to put his name out there, you know, privacy reasons. So he got, let's just call him Bob. Okay. Most generic name. My Uncle Bob got really sick. Nobody knew what was wrong with him. He was probably about 17 years old. He just got really sick. He didn't want to talk. He didn't want to eat. And there was just something off about him. It was just... My mom said that it just wasn't him. Like, he was, like, lifeless. Right? So, they took him to the doctors. The doctors could not find anything wrong with him. So somebody suggested to take him to Mexico to a witch doctor that they knew. So that's what they did. So my mom's one of the youngest out of the 10 kids. She's number 8, right? So my mom was about 14, 13 years old. And the older kids that were already married, they stayed to watch the younger kids. And my grandparents and my sick Uncle Bob took off to Mexico to see the witch doctor. So, whenever they got there, they said that, like, somebody has put in a curse on my grandmother. And people have put curses.
Good shit.
What?
Somebody's playing loud music outside.
People have put in curses on my grandmother on multiple...
It's not Putin. Somebody has, like, Putin is like that guy from Russia, like the fucking guy from Russia. You know who Putin is? I don't know.
The Joker?
No.
Pun!
No.
Anyways, so...
Somebody has put... No, what'd you say? Somebody... I'm reminding you where you left off. Somebody has tried to put curses on your grandma?
Yeah.
Oh.
On multiple occasions. My grandmother wasn't a very liked woman. And so the witch doctor said, somebody has tried to put a curse on you. To make you very sick. But my grandmother, this is what the witch doctor said, is a very strong person, like a strong soul. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't let evil stuff happen to her. Like, her spirit was so strong, it didn't let nobody mess with her. So, since the curse was still towards her, it hit one of her children. Because obviously it's a piece of her, one of her kids. And it picked my mom said, one of the weakest. And they were getting him cleansed and whatever. All that was going down in Mexico, over here, they started hearing stuff. My mom and my aunt, my youngest aunt, I should say, they slept in my room that I currently sleep in. And they said that they saw a man coming out of the wall. So think of Freddy Krueger in Nightmare on Elm Street. He was coming out of the wall. That's what they saw. And they both ran. Okay. They were hearing scratches on the wall as well. My aunt, all the older aunts and uncles that were watching the kids, they were in this portion of the house where we're at over here. So they ran that way because they heard noises too. They crashed into each other in the middle of the hallway. They said, what's going on? I hear noises. I saw a man. I hear noises too. What's going on? They hear more noises. This time it's like all over the house. And they went to my mom's room because they heard noises coming more from over there now. So they looked out the window and they saw a black cat. They're like, okay, it was probably just a cat. And then they heard a loud noise in the living room. Turned around. Turned back around to the window. Cat gone. Okay. So whenever my grandparents came back, I didn't believe my aunt and uncles and everybody. But they asked them what time was all this going down. And they told them the time. Can't remember. Well, the time that was going down in Mexico, that is the exact same time that my uncle was getting cleansed by a witch doctor. So, yeah, they thought, okay, that's kind of weird. Like, if that happened at the same time, then that obviously means whatever was hurting him was trying to come back over here to square one to pick its next victim, which was either my mom or my aunt, because they were the two youngest. Well, one of the two youngest. I had also a handicapped uncle who was actually the baby, but I think they probably took him with them. So, yeah. So it was trying to get my mom or my aunt. So that's a pretty scary story. Every time I tell people, they don't believe me, and I don't expect you to believe me. We know the truth, and that's that, you know what I mean? We have no reason to be telling lies.
Presentable. Just kidding.
Hey guys, so that was it. I have a ton more stories to talk about, but we gotta cut this video short.
I wasn't really talking because I have no fucking story, ghost things, shit that's ever happened to me, honestly. So it was mostly your stories.
Yeah. So, oh, by the way, I hope you guys enjoyed our last story time where we got scared because we thought like something hit the tape, like, I don't know, the chair or whatever. It might have been my cat, might have been a ghost, who knows. Anyways, so yeah, that was it for this video. If you guys like it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you have not already. And yeah, you just dropped my mood.
Why? Because I was grabbing a spider?
What's wrong with that? And we'll see you on the what?
We'll see you on our next video. Bye.